preliminary pieces, and then we'll just go over the sitemap and all that good stuff. Are we waiting on anybody else? I don't think we are. Let me just double check. This will be recorded, so if you guys do want to look back or if you want to, I don't know, send it to anyone else, get anyone else's input, you definitely can. All right, I think that's everyone. Second. Let me know if you all can see my screen there. It's been a bit finicky. I think Teams is also slow to the new year, so
looks good.
All right, great. So yeah, welcome to the midpoint call for PurpleStride South Carolina. We had our kickoff back in October. That was definitely more big picture stuff, and this is just the next chance for us to check in where we're going to get into some more of the details. The agenda up on the screen is a little bit of a roadmap for the conversation, but it's meant to be a very collaborative call. So we definitely want you to chime in with questions or suggestions. We're going to do a lot of screen sharing, and this is kind of a good opportunity to make changes to Ashley has the maps up that we can kind of change in real time. So that's kind of what we'll be focusing on. As far as introductions go, I think I only see everyone from October. So only friendly faces, so we can kind of just get right into it. Just going over some housekeeping first, we wanted to plug the shared resource site again. I know we went over this in October with you, Kathleen, but PanCan just does a really great job with keeping all the trainings updated and adding new ones if they need, providing any refreshers. In particular, I've called it a couple resources having to do specifically with the event route. So down here, intro to the event route, that is a tutorial video. And then down here, route operations best practices. That is like a written guideline. Last year, if I remember, I think you guys did have a route lead. Have you talked about getting a route lead already, or is that a conversation yet to have? Are you guys looking at someone?
It's my husband.
Yeah, perfect. We love that. Awesome. All right. We love the voluntold. It's much easier to get in contact with him than someone else. That's great. And yeah, I mean, if he's done it last year, if he's done it in the years before, these resources are probably what he already knows. But if he does want to check them out, or if you want to check them out, anyone else, these are just good resources to have, and you can find them in these folders. You can also just click on them right here on the deck. We'll share this deck in a follow-up email, so it's easier to get to. Other than that, always a good recommendation to just poke around the folders, see if there's anything that's been updated in the new year. We also wanted to check in on our deliverables timeline. So this should look familiar from October. The only difference is that we are right in the middle of it now. So the first round of documents has been uploaded to the shared resource site. If you haven't looked at them yet, no problem at all. We're going to look over them on the call today. That's kind of what this is for. And that's these three documents, the route map, the site map, and that vendor tracker. So the route map you'll be able to find on Google My Maps at the bottom of the homepage of the shared resource site. And the site map and the vendor tracker will be in that document library. So here we are kind of at the tail end of this initial phase. After this, you'll have till the end of the month to get us any initial feedback based on this call and based on looking into these maps further after the call. Anything that we do get from you, we'll have until the 30th, and then that'll be incorporated into that second round of documents that drops on February 9th. After this, you're going to have some time, basically all of February and half of March, to get us any more feedback, any edits, change requests, adjustments. You can get to us before March 16th or by March 16th. And that's going to be via email. So anything that you can throw at us, just let us know. We can go back and forth on it. If there's any big changes, I don't anticipate that, but if there is, we can always set up a one-off call. But March 16th is kind of our big deadline that we're hoping to have all changes pretty much sorted out. That gives us quite a bit of time from then until now to tweak things, but it comes up pretty fast, so it's good to keep in mind. After that, we'll have those third round of documents out on March 23rd. And that's going to be, again, the site map, the route map, and the vendor tracker. And then we'll basically go over them right after that. So starting that day, we'll hop on our pre-event calls and make sure everything looks good, dot our I's, cross our T's, and kind of mark it as a capital F final to put in the event book that'll be out on the 17th of April, which is about a week before the event. Any questions on this? All good? Cool. Should look familiar. Another thing to go over, we did want to check back in on the infrastructure changes again that we touched on in October and give you kind of a reminder that you might see some of these changes on the sitemap we're looking at. You're in the core package here, if I'm correct, so you might see some of these changes on the sitemap. A big one to note is just in this yellow, I know has been talked about, there won't be a t-shirt tent on the map. And then some other things here, a slightly smaller stage. Some of the tents, I know a lot of people already combine registration and donation. Oh no, come back. Again, we did go over these. Do you have any specific questions as we start to get into the logistics of things on any of these changes? Any food and beverage tents?
The start and end.
Yes.
If we end up with a sponsor, do we get the truss or no?
So since you're in this core package, if you do get a premier sponsor, that will be a nice big sign, but it still will be next to or on a balloon arch or a column. Okay. Or I did want to mention now, since a lot of markets have thought about like feather flags, we have feather flags in the signage portal this year. The signage portal will be a bit later, but if you wanted to use those, I know some markets have been talking about an inflatable, like a kind of pan-can branded inflatable start finish arch. So there's a lot of options. And you can work with Katie, work with PanCan to figure out kind of like what suits you guys best. It's really up to you and like your creativity and budget, basically.
Okay.
If you have an idea of what you want, let us know as soon as possible. You still have time to figure that out. Something to mention when you do, find out what you intend to do, let us know just so that we can let you know, sometimes it's like there's balloon restrictions or there's some extra permit that we have to let you know about. When you're booking this, also just keep in mind like peripheral items, balloon arch, most of the people that do that are very good about bringing like weighted bases or if you have a inflatable, like a generator. So just double checking with that, some of those logistical pieces that those vendors should already know about, but it's good to keep in mind.
Okay. Yeah, and just to chime in real quick on top of what Hannah said there, for this site, there's the only restriction that just to keep in mind is no staking. So it just has to be weighted. So anything with like a weighted base, and like Hannah was just touching on, is the vendor, if you're going to get a balloon column, they'll know exactly what that means, like a weighted balloon, because versus staking and securing it down. And then, but yeah, whatever you decide, just let us know, and then I'll just run it by site. But everything should be good. There's no really permitting or anything unless it's something crazy that's, needs to get the city involved, where you have like flamethrowers or something at your start finish.
That'd be awesome.
Other than that, it should be pretty okay.
And we touched on this before, but again, you will have some extra expense added to your local budget for this, so you don't need to find the budget for a balloon arch out of what you normally would have. Other than that, another thing to mention for you guys in this core package is your audio visual vendor down here in AV. You will be getting your speakers through your DJ this year. So, in the past, we order the entire AV package. usually with DJs, they're kind of surprised when for our event you contact the DJ and you're like, actually you don't need to bring anything. Most DJs are used to bringing like speakers, the whole setup. We have a really easy cheat sheet that we're going to send you of what they're going to need so that you don't need to know like what watt speakers, what chords. We'll send that to you in a follow-up email after this call so that if you do have questions, you can just give this to your DJ and say, this is exactly what you need. Any other questions about this? I know it's a lot. All good? Awesome. Great. Last thing I wanted to touch on is just our weather contingency. We have plans in place to deal with anything, whether that is for you guys, I don't know, crazy rain, crazy heat. We're not ruling anything out these days. We had like pouring rain in LA last year. So we look at it about 10 days to a week before the event. And if anything looks like it's going to be hitting you guys, that's when we're going to initiate ordering some extra pieces. So things like, Purple Play Zone, we'd get a tent if it rains. If it's extremely hot, we would get a tent for shade. All these extra pieces will be accounted for. If this does happen, we'll let you know ahead of time. So you won't be on event like, oh my God, it's raining. What do we have? We'll let you know kind of everything that we're going to order. Great. Other than that, I can kind of pass the screen share over to Ashley, and she'll take us through the sitemap, the route, and I'll talk about the vendor order real quick after that. While she's pulling it up, I did want to confirm our general timeline. I know we were talking about changing it slightly this year, so to have the same timeline as 2024. So just to confirm right now, we have the event village opening at 8, the opening ceremony at 9, walk start at 9:30, and event concluding at 11:30. Does that sound good? And Ashley, is the site
approved? Yeah,
all good with
I'll
that?
approve the
Yay.
site. Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Perfect. Yeah. So as Hannah touched on, we touched on last call, is now this sitemap is a little bit updated from just a couple of those changes that we have with the t-shirt tent gone and just combining volunteer check-in, registration, donation. So still looks the same. It's not a big, huge difference. And then, like we touched on, weather permitting, we'll keep an eye on the contingencies here would be, adding if weather is too hot, raining, whatever, then we could do the 10 by 10 for the food and beverage. So now we have the table there. That's the difference. And then Purple Play Zone, we never had a tent either way. So, but could have a weather contingency there too, if you need it. And then the stage here, we've got the 10 by 10 tent now that goes over the stage. And was there any other changes layout wise, anything that you wanted to make to the sitemap this year? I know we had it pretty dialed in how layout wise, but we can always change it to even day of before they weight the tents down. But for now, and then obviously once
that's good.
Okay, perfect. And then once we get closer to with the sponsor count and like all-star team final counts, then, we can adjust those as well and add in those names there too. And then route, which your lovely husband will be helping with. We've got I know we had talked last call where this park, we had the 2 options up to the 5K, and I let site know we're going to stick to the shorter one. If you want to add the longer one, you still can, totally fine. But for now, we're planning for the
they
same.
Want to add.
They do want to add? Okay.
They do.
Okay, I'll let the site. Okay, totally fine. I'll let the site know. And then I'll add on, because as Hannah was saying, you have a link to the My Maps where you can see live. So as of now, if you went in there, that longer route isn't added. So I'll go in and add that longer route too. So that will be updated also. And we'll have a PDF also mapped for the event that you can have like with you if someone wasn't really prone to being on their phone. So both options you'll have like day out. Your husband will have and you day up to look at. But I'll let them know that too. That shouldn't be a problem at all because we're the only event. So, and it's a part of our thing. So perfect. And also to keep in mind, I think too, with signage is we should be all good since we already did the 5K. So we should have all that signage. So you don't need to worry about that too if you still have that in the storage. So should be good. Save you some more deliveries of signage and stuff than you already need to you. Okay, any other questions on route or sitemap?
No.
So this is going to be, sorry, for context, we're just going to have the two routes, then the 5K and the shorter loop. Is that right?
Yeah. In the past, this park is, So the first year we did both, offered both. And then last year we stuck with the shorter route because not many people used, I believe, the longer route. So this year we're going to offer both though.
Okay. Cool.
It's a beautiful park.
I know, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. All those paved routes. Lucky. Great. Super easy. Last thing to go over is the vendor order. And Kathleen, did you ever look at it might have been called the IRF last year, the infrastructure request form on the shared resource site? Yeah. No. Okay. Perfect. So then you won't notice that it looks completely different this year. Katie, you might notice, but yeah, we kind of did like a total revamp of this document. This is in your like community folder. I just wanted to go over how you read it because it's really long and it might be confusing. So basically it used to look like divided by vendor. So like you have a page for your tent vendor, your AV. Now we're trying to do it a bit more by section of the event so that it's easier for the people on the ground to intuitively go through and see what we have. I'll show you that in a bit. First thing to mention is this entire first page, like the instruction box, all of this. You don't need to look at this too closely. You don't need to follow these instructions. This is more for our purchasing department and will probably be taken out. So don't worry about this first page. You can go down to the second page, which is the vendor summary. Here, it's pretty simple. You're just going to have the names of your vendors. When we get close to the event, you'll have the on-event contact in case you need it. Something to mention, there's a lot on here, and there's a lot that you guys won't need, and honestly, no PurpleStride event needs, like the fans and the plywood. So if you do look through here, you're like, oh my God, what is that? I never knew about that. Don't worry about it. Since this is a new document, we kept everything on here to make sure there's nothing missing for you guys. But in February and in the March drop, a lot of this stuff will be taken out. So anything you don't need, the rows will be taken out. It'll make a lot more sense. So it's only going to get shorter, basically. Once you hit orders and distribution, this is where we kind of go area by area. So we have number 1, general site supplies, number 2, general route supplies, and number 3, general site services. This is kind of our miscellaneous section. Things like radios, those don't go in any specific tent. Trash bags, that sort of thing. Down here. Same with site services. Miscellaneous, anything here. And then why do you stride and downwards? It's kind of more like tent by tent. So if you look in here, it's everything you're going to need. I know why do you stride, you guys are going to have that combined this year. Things like the AV stage, you get to see what comes in your core package. Food and beverage, pro teams. Basically,
Hannah, if we have a question, is now a good time to do it while you're in here?
Go for it, yeah.
Kat and I were talking earlier, and based off of the infrastructure changes, I believe there was 2 options, and I think the option that South Carolina wants to go with is the frame for the YI Stride area.
Okay.
And so Kat had noticed that there's not one on the list here for YI Stride, so we're just hoping to get that added.
Okay.
Yeah, just to know, sorry, just to chime in, is this version isn't updated. So like this one we're looking at that Hannah has up isn't the live one. So I actually have the live one, and that just confirming that we do have the tent for YD Stride. It's going to be combined with the photo area. So Yeah. So
Awesome.
they're
But
both
then
in
it'll still have like the outline to like, so that there's a place to hang the banners then.
for the banner hanging. Yeah, correct. The
Okay,
top banner, yeah.
perfect. Awesome. Well, that's good to know. I guess that's why we meet, so that we have the reassurance that we're all on the same page with that. So perfect.
I know and again, I do want to, go over this just because with those
Yeah.
questions and stuff, this is such a like beast of a document that you see a line and you're like, oh my God. But yeah, just to confirm. And Ashley, for the Why Do You Stride in the photo, is that just going to be just the frame? That's not going to have the top over it?
That would
Combined, or
be
is
that would be an Aaron question to
Yeah.
But yeah, I put we've got that in the notes.
And Katie, would you prefer it to just have the frame without the top if it's Why Do You Stride and photo combined? Do you have a preference?
Kat, do you guys have a preference? I mean, I'm
I know
trying to
sometimes
envision it. I know they'd be, I don't know.
with
I
the
guess I'm trying to
photo,
envision it.
I know a lot of times markets like having it without the top just for the sun. Like it depends.
For the
but
lighting.
Yeah, so that's just why I ask. Usually it would be just be the frame.
Just the frame is fine.
Cool. Okay, let me write that down. All right, and I'll double check with that and let you guys know in our follow up kind of what we figure out.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Again, if you see anything on here or if you go through this later and have questions, just let us know. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of random little things. Again, yeah, as we've written here, we're not going to have that tent, but we are still going to have all your tables, all your quick covers, that sort of thing. Let's see, it goes literally tent by tent, area by area, super involved. Your sponsors and your all-stars. This is, again, same from last year. These are just placeholders. Once you guys know your sponsors, it'll be filled up a lot better. One more thing to mention is the vendor report section. We don't have this up right now either, but in future versions, this will be what more of your like standard IRF vendor tracker would maybe look like. So basically, it'll have your tent vendor and like all the tents they're bringing, all the tables they're bringing, all the chairs in one easy summary. So whoever has that, whether it's like one of our staff people, whether it's from PamCan, someone can like hold this up in the event book next to the tent invoice or whatever it is, and just make sure they match up. Just like an easy way to do that without going and counting every tent. Do you have any questions on this right now? Hopefully it's not too hard to read. Again, this is more just formatting, and in the future, we'll get into exactly what each of these numbers mean and if we need to change them. Good. So, well, you guys have everything pretty dialed in. So I know not too much to change, but if you do have questions, if you do want to change something, just reach out and let us know. You can keep in mind that January 30th deadline for anything you want to see on the next round of documents, but after that, we still have time. So lots of time to chat. Yeah, shoot us an email if we need to set up a one-off call. We can do that too. And then if we don't talk before then, the next time we'll talk is for the pre-event call. Thank you guys so much. You guys are super easy. Again, yeah, reach out if you have anything. You'll be hearing from us pretty shortly with a follow-up with some extra info for you and any questions that we have.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for everything you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You too.
Good one.
Bye.
Bye.